What's the matter, baby? What's the matter? Are you going to make an appearance today? Because, people think you don't exist. Luna, people think you don't exist. Give me a kiss. Yes. Yes. I trapped Luna this morning. I decided I would kidnap her with a little bit of a belly rub. And now she's like, okay, I've had enough. Please put me back in my place. But there's been people that have suspected that Luna is not real, but she is very real. Okay, Luna, go down to your perch. There you go. And stay put. Excellent. Everybody, hello. This is Sunday Funday. That was Luna, who is now making notes down here in her perch. She keeps me company during the broadcast. Sometimes she doesn't. But here we are. It is Sunday Funday, and this is Coffee and Headlines, our daily get-together here live on Facebook every morning, 10:30. And we get together Monday through Saturday to share important news and stories that relate to our lives as an English-speaking community here in Puerto Vallarta, but not today. Today is Sunday, which means that nothing is sacred, no one is safe. Today, it's all about having fun and forgetting a little bit about all the news that we have to digest during the week. It's always great to see you all joining. Michael, I promised you Luna. I know you've been wondering if she exists for several days, and I did not want you to think that I was disregarding your requests. She is just a little prima donna-ish, as I told you in writing. Good morning to everybody else. Oh my goodness, my dear friend Deb Krieger is watching. Deb and I go back to Boston, where one day I heard about the AIDS ride, Boston to New York AIDS ride. It was announced, and they were looking for people to sign up to do this 3-day ride from Boston to New York City to raise funds and awareness for AIDS. And I walked into the office, and to my surprise, I was the very first person ever to sign up to do the Boston, New York AIDS ride. On the first ride, I was rider number 1, and it was a questionable honor. It was really funny because everywhere I went, my bicycle had the number 1 attached to it, and everybody was like, oh my God, you're the first one. I'm like, well, I certainly was not the fastest. We did training rides just for fun and to meet people, and that's where I met my friend Deb. And of course, we're talking about 2,000 years ago, so it's always great to see friends from present and past here. It's great to see you all, as always, from places near and far. And here's a question from Tapia, who has been joining us and has been recovering from an important surgery. I hope you're feeling better, amigo. What is cheaper, to build a house or to buy one? That's a very big and elaborate question. If anybody wants to comment, I would very much appreciate it. I guess it all depends on where you want to build and whether you own the land and so forth and so on. But not today. Today, we're going to just be silly and have a fun time. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about, yes, Luna is a nose licker. Absolutely. And she comes in and licks my nose at odd hours of the morning, like 3 o'clock and so forth and so on. Gail is new. Welcome, Gail. This is Coffee and Headlines. You may be shocked and totally terrified about what goes on here today. And if you do, please give us another chance. Come back on Monday or Tuesday where we talk about news. But today it's all just silly fun. Let's see what else. There's a Luna conspiracy theory out there. Absolutely. Lunanon. Oh, that is very funny. I love it. I love it. Cookie Lady, I tried some of your new empanadas and they are absolutely delicious. If you ever put together a show like this, by the way, don't ever bring your cat close to your face just as you're getting ready to broadcast because you'll be covered in hair as I am now. Let's see. What else? Pat Silver, hello from Toronto, Canada. Hello, Pat. Marianne is here this morning. Michael is aware of Prima Felinas. Yes, that would be my Luna. She is a wonderful companion. She is just like, I love her. And I love you back, Deb Krieger. I hope you're still riding your bicycle. I never rode again once I moved to Puerto Vallarta. I remember moving down here with my cleats and my jerseys and my shorts and my kryptonite lock. And I remember the very first day that I was in Puerto Vallarta, I was being driven by a taxi cab to Colonia Emiliano Zapata with all my ownings, all my belongings rather. And I kept looking as the cab drove into this city that I'd never seen before. I kept looking for posts or places where people would kryptonite their bicycles as they were doing their errands around town. I never saw such thing. And of course, I very quickly realized that Puerto Vallarta did not have a cycling culture. And it is only now that this commuter type of cycling culture is beginning to show up in town almost 20 years later. Let's see. Please watch out for COVID feet on Luna. Will do. Let's see. Yes. Okay, so as I was telling you, today we have three big sections. One of them has to do with Mexican composers you may want to know about. And this goes in connection a little bit with Mexican Independence Month and also just general music stuff that we like to talk about. Number 2, today we are going to talk about tacos gone wrong. And yes, it is possible for such a simple dish as a tortilla with chingaderas on it to go wrong. And last but not least, we are going to discover or uncover this history of COVID-19 through its humor. Yes, we have to allow ourselves to think it is funny, at least on Sunday. So if you find my humorous comments about COVID-19 irreverent, and because that's going to be the last segment, this is a good moment for you to go into your kitchen and pop a Valium and come back a little bit more relaxed, because today we're going to laugh at COVID-19. And why not? Why not do that? Anyhow, let's get started. The first thing that I want to do is put myself in music presentation mode. No new comments so far. So we are going to do this. This is going to be so much fun. Music presentation mode starts here. Is he there? Yes, he is. Fantastic. I want to introduce you to this man. And of course, as always, we won't be able to play any music because the copyright YouTube gods get on our case. And this would be Arturo Márquez. He is a Mexican composer of orchestral music from the state of Sonora. He was born in 1950. And before I continue with this, let me just make a little disclaimer. When I was growing up in conservatory and going to concerts, and I was a child, the traditional Mexican symphony orchestra piece that was performed by all the orchestras, the Mexican orchestras, is called Huapango. And this was composed by José Pablo Moncayo in the 1940s. This was the totally nationalistic, proud to be Mexican music that you would go and hear at a symphony orchestra concert. And it was standard repertoire for just about every Mexican symphony orchestra, and it continues to be. But of course, Moncayo composed this in the 1940s. So who comes after Moncayo? Well, one of our new great Mexican composers would be Arturo Márquez, because his music incorporates forms and styles of native Mexico. And for example, he's written a series of compositions called danzones. And these danzones are part of the traditional music of the state of Veracruz. And it's music that, as the name reflects, it's music that is meant to be danced to. So here we have this Mexican composer. He's written a bunch of classical pieces, but not many people knew about him until conductors started performing his music. So now we have entering into the mix this Mexican composer that you should know about, and her name is Alondra de la Parra. And Alondra de la Parra is a young, beautiful, charismatic Mexican-American conductor, and she's the current music director of the Queensland Symphony Orchestra in Australia. She's the first female principal conductor of an Australian symphony orchestra. Now, she is also an official cultural ambassador of Mexico, and she is relevant to today's conversation because back in 2015, she found herself conducting the Paris Philharmonic Orchestra. And in this concert, she performed not only the Huapango that I was talking about before, but she performed Danzón number 2. Danzón number 2. And when she performed Arturo Márquez's Danzón number 2, the piece was very, very well received. And it very quickly got people to become curious about this Mexican composer. And what happened after that is, if I can advance this, then we have Gustavo Dudamel, who found himself touring the United States and Europe in 2007 with the Simón Bolívar Youth Orchestra. And he also included Danzón number 2 in the repertoire that they were playing. So this brought the music to even more popularity among the public around the world. Now, the Danzón number 2, and of course I'm going to leave you with links to all this music, has also been adapted for different ensembles, including a beautiful piano transcription by French pianist Simon Ghraichy. He recorded this in his Heritages album for Deutsche Grammophon, where he explores his own Lebanese and Mexican upbringing. And again, it'll be interesting to compare the different versions of the Danzón, which is a beautiful, beautiful traditional Mexican piece. And it was composed in the 1950s when other composers were doing a lot more, well, let's just say not traditional music. Now, something that is important about this latest version that I'm going to share with you now is has to do with Alondra de la Parra. I remember seeing an interview with Alondra de la Parra where she spoke about how she felt affected by the pandemic, and it was really strange for her to not be performing music live, and she seemed a little bit reluctant to get into some of these projects in which musicians recorded separately and then they would come together. And but what she ended up doing is she came up with a project called the Impossible Orchestra Project. And the Impossible Orchestra Project is one of those projects in which music is recorded by musicians located in different places. But the beautiful thing is, where is the Impossible Orchestra Project? That she's supposed to be here. Where did it go? There we go. What she did is, Alondra de la Parra, is she created a version of the Danzón number 2 that was recorded by musicians from major orchestras around the world. Here's a list of the members of the Impossible Orchestra, and it is like who's who of classical music. Maxim Vengerov, there's let's see who else is here. Albrecht Meyer, who's the principal oboist in the Berlin Philharmonic. Paquito de Rivera is a very acclaimed jazz musician. Sarah Willis, who we talked about a few days ago with her explorations of Cuban music. Arturo Sandoval is a famous trumpeter that exiled from Cuba. And so forth. Rolando Villazón, the famous Mexican tenor, performs the claves. in this particular piece. So this pretty much ends my musical segment. I'm just going to leave links for you to be able to explore this beautiful music, several versions of the Danzón, and I'm going to be curious as to what your opinion is about this music. Let me take a quick look at your comments to see whether you are enjoying this or not. Bring on the silly, says Renee. Thank you very much. Let's see. Bam, 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 boom, bam, bam. Happy Sunday, everyone, says Cindy Duchateau. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for keeping me connected to Vallarta while I'm in Colorado. Well, Jane, thank you for keeping me connected with you and what is important to you as a Puerto Vallarta local, as much or as little as you are a local. Again, we tend to think of locals as people that live here full time, but people that consider themselves local because you are only here a few months, you're more than welcome to be here. And yes, the occasional traveler that sneaks into the mix, we welcome you too. Tourists and your interesting questions. You probably have better resources to find answers about Puerto Vallarta elsewhere. The meat and potatoes here is those of us that live here in English or English and Spanish full time. Sherry asks, are fajitas considered traditional Mexican food, or is it an American Mexican dish? Well, let's just say I just call them fajitas, and maybe that answers your question. I don't think fajitas are a Mexican thing. I could be wrong. I will do some research on fajitas at some point. Julie says, pop a Valium. I actually didn't pop one of those, but last night I ate a very wonderful brownie that helped me sleep with the really obnoxious heat that we were enduring. It was just nasty. Renee is now craving enchiladas. Well, let me tell you that the best enchiladas in Puerto Vallarta are in Chai. At Chai in Versalles. And I've said this before, and I'll say it ad nauseum. Chai has just kick-ass enchiladas. And I'm sure there are other great enchiladas elsewhere, but those happen to be my favorite. Deb is going to check out that Impossible Orchestra. That's the general idea, Deb. Oh my God, Deb, I'm feeling you so close to me. I remember when we used to go ride our bicycles together. So many years have gone by. What is it, 25? 30? I don't know, but to have the honor of a friendship that has lasted so many years is a very precious gift, and it means the world to me. And if anybody has friends that have been your friends for a long time, don't waste any time. Just send them a message and tell them that you love them just because there is a history that keeps you tied together. Let's see. Tommy. I miss you guys. I hope you guys are doing well. Okay, I will stop being 101 here, but it's just so nice to see my dear friends. Anyhow, because you guys are getting hungry, it is time for taco time. Ta-da! Just a few days ago, we were talking about Mattel releasing that dreadful Day of the Dead Barbie. Where is she? I even whipped her out because I figured we had to remember this. There she is. So is this collectible, a collector's delight, or is this cultural appropriation? A Barbie dressed as Day of the Dead. I don't know. Oh, Carmen Porras is in the house. I am so glad you're here, Carmen, because I hope I'm going to make you laugh with these tacos that I found. So you see, tacos is so fucking basic food. It's a corn tortilla with chingaderas on top of it. You can't go wrong when you put together a taco. Now, we have great series like Taco Chronicles on Netflix that tells us more about the different types of tacos. Some are eaten during the morning, some are eaten during the evening. Some of them are regional, some of them are crunchy, some of them have meat fillings of one kind or another. But the bottom line about a taco is you grab a pinche tortilla and you put a pinche filling on top of it and you have a taco. It's that simple. So how can tacos become so fucked up in this little research that I did online? I present you a taco soup. I mean, hello. And the photo is pretty, and the recipe, it makes you want to eat it. But tacos are tacos. Tacos are not soup. This comes from spendwithpennies.com. And trust me, I am not going to share these recipes with you, because even though they look yummy and they make my stomach turn in good ways, they also make my stomach turn in bad ways. So no, we're not going to be making easy taco soup, and we're not going to be making easy taco dip. Taco dip one. How many taco dips are there? Heaven forbid. There's no tortilla involved in this recipe, so how can it be a taco? Good Lord. I give you Dorito taco salad. I'm sorry, it's not a taco. It may be a salad, but there's nothing taco about this. Here's another one. This is a taco salad. Oh, how lovely. See, there's some chips in it, but there's no tortilla. So this is definitely not a taco. Check out this one. Check this one out. Taco casserole. Taco casserole. It's not a taco. Mind you, we do have budín. We do have budín. And budín, we borrow the word from the English word pudding. Pudding. Yes, pudding. Yes, that's how you say it. Or the French boudin. And a budín is a layered dish in which you put layers of different chingaderas. In this case, you'd put layers of tortillas and beans and cheese and maybe chicken and so forth and so on. And you end up with a taco budín, un budín de taco, but it's definitely not a casserole, and it's definitely not a taco. Have you had enough? Oh, well, there's more. There's a taco pie. I mean, it's not a taco, it's a pie. So this is not a taco. And then things get sweet after this. There's such a thing as a choco taco. What the fuck? I mean, it's not, at least this one looks like a taco, but it's still not a corn tortilla. And the last thing I would think of putting in a corn tortilla is ice cream. Ice cream in the filling, I don't think so. Maybe on a flour tortilla, just maybe, but this is not a taco. It's not a taco. And this is most definitely not a taco. It's a cocktail. It's a cocktail. El taco rojo is a cocktail. It looks yummy, but I don't see any tortilla in it. There's another one here. This is, McCormick's, of course. They put some of their powdered chingadera on top of it, and they come up with a taco spiced margarita. I mean, we call that something else. We call that a margarita with chili on the rim, but it's not a taco spiced margarita, for crying out loud. And I think the last one on the list, if I haven't made your stomach churn in a good or a bad way, would be the taco truck cocktail. Love the name, and it looks like the ingredients are quite yummy. But these ain't tacos. They're just not really tacos. So are these also cases of cultural appropriation? Are these just chingaderas? Tell me what you think in your comments, because we eat these things. I'm not saying that I don't eat them. I'm not saying that I don't enjoy it. When I went to the New England Conservatory of Music in Boston, there was a Taco Bell right across the street, and I was a regular. I love that stuff. Were they tacos? Well, maybe not. And yes, Paul, who is in Boston right now, he says these things are not tacos. Of course they're not tacos. We know they're not. But I mean, I just had fun doing this search. Terry says the chocolate taco at the Chocolate Museum is so delicious. I am sure they're yummy. I'm sure all these things are absolutely yummy. But are they tacos? I don't think so. Messing with tequila is going too far, says Terry. Well, my only comment with tequila is you sip it, you don't chug it. Too bad we see people chugging tequila. What a waste, especially when it's really good tequila. I mean, if you get into a restaurant and you try to be all fancy schmancy and you go, give me a shot of your best tequila. It's like taking something so flavorful and wonderful and complicated and just gulping it. and getting really shit-faced in a very stupid way when you do it. So, if you ever want to savor tequila, you gotta let it rest in your mouth. And I'm not a tequilier, and tequiliers are like sommeliers, but only for tequila. But that's my little mini rant on tequila. I will not chug it, and I strongly recommend you don't chug your tequila. And Kathleen loves the Barbie. I won't hold that against you, Kathleen, but I don't think I'm going to be saving my pennies for Barbies. I don't think so. I see some wonderful things. I love sipping a good tequila. Absolutely. Taco Bell at 2 a.m. with orange meat is actually pretty good. Well, I hear you. I've been there and I've loved it. But again, when a taco is not a taco, you got to know what to do. Okay, so last but not least, just in case you weren't watching, I give you the story or the history of COVID-19 as seen through its internet humor. It all started here when they told us that we needed. Where am I? Can I come in here and join you? Let me see. Can I do my little window? Da 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 da. Picture in picture. And make it round and make it green screen. There you go. But that's the wrong camera. That makes me look like I have a disease. That looks much better. And let me make myself a little zoomed. See, this is fun. Thank you for indulging my behind the scenes fixer-uppers. Anyhow, there we go. This is early on in the pandemic. We were all concerned about the lack of toilet paper. And then we were also told, oh, I have to activate my screen for every single one of these. Never mind. I'm just not going to show my face, but I'm just going to remind you of when we were told, you do not touch your face. So this was early on in the pandemic. We were told, do not touch your face. Then they told us to stay home. They told us you cannot leave. So we found ourselves looking at the map for some weekend travel ideas. Look at the map. I've made that trip a number of times. And of course, now we're allowed to go places. Now we're allowed to venture out in the world and start, coming back to the new normal, et cetera, et cetera. But this one totally made my day because people just don't say bless you anymore if you sneeze. They look at you like this. And I'll try to make my best impersonation of that look. It would be something like this. And how many times have you been in a restaurant, or how many times have you been in a taxi cab and you're like, and you're trying not to sneeze because you don't want the people that are around you to like give you shit. It's like, oh my God, he just sneezed. He must have something. I've been there. And if you have not been there, I won't believe you because we've all have been there. We don't want to be shamed, of course. And let me show you the piece of resistance. I mean, this is just absolutely fantastic. This made my day when I saw it. I certainly hope you will enjoy it. I don't know if it's the music. I don't know if I like the guy's expression or I like the idea, but that one was absolutely priceless for me. I really, really enjoyed it, and I hope you certainly have too. And this, of course, is Coffee and Headlines Sunday Funday edition, and it's what we have for today. I was going to pull out the chingonario, but I figured we would keep it a little bit clean today. We wouldn't say many bad words. We would just stick to derivations, variations of chingar and chingaderas, and that's what we've done. Let me see, very quickly acknowledge some of your final comments. Gotta run. We'll watch the show later. Have a wonderful, fun day. You too, Karen. I hope you have a really, really wonderful day. Let's see. Guacamole deviled eggs. I may actually like that, but as long as they don't call them taco, why not? Um, Thank you. That is the best analogy. You don't chug scotch. Thank you very much, William. That's the way it is. I really appreciate that. Uh, oh, another Barbie wanter. Okay. I won't hold it against you, ladies. I would have a Barbie, but I mean, I spend my monies in other things these days. What can I tell you? Let's see. The cone of shame. Well, the only bad thing about the cone of shame is that it would not really protect you all that much. Renee is also on her way out. Thank you for laughing with me, Renee. I appreciate that. And Kathleen reacted to weekend travel ideas. Yes, I'm going to take a big trip around my apartment today. I certainly hope that you do that. And the sneezing made Julie laugh. That's wonderful. I'm sure you've been there. Yeah, I'm sure you've been there. And of course, my personal favorite was the video with the dude going like that. It was just absolutely wonderful. And but the most wonderful thing here in this equation is you. You guys give me purpose. Every time I wake up, I think, oh my goodness, it's another day. What are we going to share today? What are we going to talk about? And that means the world to me. And I am always so grateful for having this opportunity to spend time with you. And particularly Sundays. We didn't start doing Sunday Funday since the beginning, but then I realized I need a mental break. And you'll probably need a little distraction from the news as well. So I'm so very happy to provide. As always, Truja brings up Pee Wee Herman. Connect the dots. I love that. I love that. We should have Pee Wee's Playhouse screening at some point. That is just wonderful. Anyhow, Susie asks, where can you get a copy of the book I keep showing, The Chingonario? It is available on Amazon.com. We've posted the link before. It's just a matter of finding it over there. Chingonario, like chingonary, but in Spanish, Chingonario. Today is Sunday. We already know that. And tomorrow, we will again take a look at the latest COVID numbers as made available by our governor, Enrique Alfaro, just to see where we're at in this whole adventure. Between now and then, I sure hope you will have a wonderful day. I hope you'll find a way to stay happy, to stay with good humor, that you'll find a way to stay kind to those around you, to stay safe, and last but not least, to stay in touch. It is always a pleasure to connect with you. It is a pleasure to bring out a smile in your face. It is a pleasure to help us all remember that we're all in this little dance, not together, because we're all dancing at our own pace, and we need to be appreciative of that. So that's it. Luna and I are going to have a great Sunday. I hope you do too. And I will see you again soon. Have a great one.